Good afternoon. This is Linda Cromar coming to you from sunny Colorado, and this is Friday Facebook Mastermind, and I'm glad you're here with us. I wanted to share that I'm going to do a lot of specialized Facebook training. This is the beginning of that today, and so I'm going to immediately go into share here. And let's go over to our Facebook. And I'm going to start out in my profile. Now, one thing we've got to keep in mind is that when we are in our own personal profile, that is us. That is who we are. That is where we share what we are doing, what we want to be, and things that are very personal in a lot of cases. And when you go over to your fan page, which most people should have one, and mine uh, is actually a personal fan page, not connected to any kind of company that I'm part of. And the reason why I did that was very specific. I did that because I wanted to make sure that I shared who I was, even in my fan page. Now, I'm seeing a trend that a lot of people are doing that I don't think is very helpful to the average guy. Now, if you're very definitely a brand and you've worked really hard to create that brand, which I have, you can do that. But I don't do that specifically because when you are trying to convince people to become part of your company, they're going to connect with a person, not a fan page. And even if it's your own name, it is still a fan page, and there's different uses for both the fan page and the profile. So let's go back to my profile and let's talk about the differences. That's the first thing I promised I was going to share with you today in the training. So let's see, where did I put it? Okay, I said I am going to make sure that you understand the differences. And I'm seeing a lot of people that are saying, I'm going to close down my personal profile, or I'm not going to use it for anything other than just, connecting with family and friends. And you can certainly do that, but I think you're missing the boat of how you can completely build a brand even if you don't have a fan page. And one of the things that I share a lot, and it's very, very important, is that you need to be very personal. This is a space up here, this cover, where you can use this to kind of draw people to you, but it's a very bad idea to make this become your advertisement for what you're representing, because when you do that, people see a commercial, and if they see a commercial, they're probably not going to follow through with anything you request them to do. So for instance, another place I see people using it as a commercial is in their profile picture. They use a logo from the company or a saying that kind of convinces them to look at it. This is if you think about it, when you look at a person's face, if you're face to face with somebody, you're looking into their eyes. You want to believe you can connect with that person. You want to know who they are. And I'm even going to edit this right now in front of your eyes. And I'm going to go and upload a brand new picture. And I want to show you what happens when I do that. As soon as it comes up. I have a lot of pictures of myself, so I should have no problem finding one that I like that I haven't used before. Let's see, it's in my personal pictures. And I have, and then I'm always adding to this because this is helpful. Every time you add a new picture in there, that always makes a person feel like they can connect with you. So I'm actually purposely going to put a different picture up just so I can show you what happens to that when you do it. So I have a picture of myself. It's kind of a celebratory picture, and I'm actually going to come back over here and I'm going to give it a description. Okay, and that may not be the best personal picture, but I can tell you one thing, it grabs people's attention, and those kind of pictures are better than any logos that you can do. Even if they're not perfect, it's a good idea to have a good picture of yourself. Now, I'm seeing people that put up company logos, and I promise you that is not as effective. And then another thing is, when people start seeing you posting regularly out on the Facebook stream, they're going to come and snoop at your pictures and at your About Me stuff. See, already somebody is liking that new photo, and that doesn't take very long. They see it, they react to it. So this is what the profile is all about, is telling your personal story. Get all of it in here. Tell everything you can. One thing I noticed is really, really, really getting a lot of attention is when you put up a new event. Like, for instance, actually not a new one in the fact that it's back here. But my first I Got Married, which was when I was in Brand New Bride in 1971. This is getting a huge amount of comments and likes, and it's kind of cool. Look at how much I got out of this, and I just posted this yesterday. People really like it when you share personal information about yourself. Now, it has to be stuff you're comfortable with sharing out on the internet because it becomes public. It's not something that stays private. So if it's something that is not comfortable for you to share, then don't share it, because it will absolutely become something that people will notice. And of course, I got a like already from this silly picture I put up, and it's not even the greatest picture, but I shared what it is. And I'm going to just put a comment in there so they know what it is. And then you can go back and you can change this as many times as you want. And this is one thing I really want to point out to you, is that I don't have a lot of friends that do this now because I've kind of trimmed them out. But if you're constantly putting up ads, advertisements about your business constantly, I mean, you can share what's going on a little bit, but if you're constantly sharing your business, you can see that I'm getting responses from the things I put up. And the reason why is because I don't put up business stuff constantly. I put it up once or twice a day, and the rest of the time I'm talking about things that are important to me and I believe that are important to other people. Like, I got a new response just a little while ago. And you get likes and you get comments when you put up things that people actually are interested in knowing about you. And you can, tell them about your life, about what's going on. And of course you can tell them, you want to put up positive stuff. One thing I said this morning, where is it? Well, this was one that was true. A lot of people think themselves into being sick, and that was our topic actually in the Think and Grow Rich call this morning, about how people really do think themselves into being sick. If you look around you, all around you, people are talking negative stuff about themselves all the time. So you don't want to do that. So what is the difference between what you do on your Facebook page and what you do on your profile page? Well, for one thing, you have the option to actually share with them these tabs. And these tabs are training, free training, and opportunities for them to connect with you, and also an opportunity for them to see your business and possibly get on your list. That's what these tabs do for you. This one in particular is Franco Gonzalez, who is my mentor and also my somebody that I'm involved in business with. But I am also doing, as you know, right now in live, I am also doing a fan page review and showing how you can build your business from Facebook, and that is this right here. Right now live, I am doing this training, and I share this training out on Facebook all the time. I share it to groups, and I share it to other fan pages, and I share it to my profile. So the difference is that you want to be in a mood of sharing good thoughts, lots of good ideas, lots of things that help people. And as you can see, I've got people that I can talk to because these people are responding to this picture. People love visuals. People love visuals. And on the fan page, you can share some of that same stuff. But I tell you, they really are not going to have the same reaction in the fan page as they do on your personal profile. So you need both. You need both. So in the fan page, you can share the training, and you can share actually more business stuff. And on your personal profile, you can direct them to the fan page. And the third thing I said I was going to do is that I actually have, this is not an old fan page. This is a brand new fan page. I just started it a month or so ago, and I have not quite 100 yet. It will grow to 100 today, just from the fact that I am doing this training today. And I always add new videos. I bring my videos especially to the fan page more so than I do to the personal profile. That's one thing I personally like to do more of, is to put my profile, my videos in here. And I will do a new video today later, and it will be posted in the fan page. So there are a lot of things you can do, but I do believe you have to have it separate. Now, do you still have the ability to do messages from the fan page? Yes, you do. But I don't find that you get the same response when you send fan pages, when you send messages out of the fan page. For instance, even though it has my name on it, when it says it'll say it's from Linda Cromar's training. It won't say it's from Linda Cromar. So it's just not the same thing when you send an invitation or whatever into that situation. But then on the other hand, you have people that are talking to you in your fan page, and when they make a post to you, it is going to show up on this other. It's not going to show up on the very front part of your, when you are doing anything. So whenever you are sharing something in here, you want to make sure you're sharing it to the right place. So to recap, your fan page is a great place to bring people when you're interested in getting them on your list, when you're interested in getting them to free training, and you want to interact with them in a more business-like manner. And your profile is a place where they can learn about you, they can get a lot more interested in you, they can be comfortable with you, and of course you can share lots more personal information through your photos, through your About Me, and through your events life events, which a lot of people don't use this enough. The only thing they use it for is if there's just a few things in their life that happens. But you have all kinds of choices of things that you can do in here, especially like if you go on a trip. You can offer them information about that trip. If you have something that you're doing different in your health, home and living, you can talk about if you've bought a home or you've improved your home or something new has happened in your life that way. Or you can always create something unique that has happened to you. For instance, when I reached one of the major first ranks of my company, I made sure and noted that in here because I think that's valuable and important. And see, I achieved Founder 3, and also my last travel was in Florida, so I made sure and noted that. But there's lots of ways to use them. I just think that you need to use both kinds of things here, because when you do, it is a lot more effective. And then understanding that they are different. Now, I also talked about how do you create some buzz for your profile so people will come back to you and look. Well, I just did it right here with this picture. Every time that you change anything in your profile, generally it will post out on the main feed and people will react to it. If I change my website, if I change my story, if I add another event, if all of that's going to show up in my my main feed, even though I don't see it here. Like for instance, when I showed you that one where I talked about when I got married the first time, even though that was an old event, basically, what I was going for is I was going for actually creating kind of more of a timeline of the things that have happened in my life that were good and mostly good. And one thing I also would think would be worth telling people about is also when you had your children. Those are major events in people's lives, and I think a lot of people forget to do that. For instance, there's a lot of openness here between this and this, so we need to fill in this time, don't we? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add my firstborn child. So that'd be family and relationships. And expecting a baby, new child. How about new child? And that happened in 1974. And that happened in October 28. Okay, and then when you finish that part, make sure you add a really engaging and enjoyable to look at picture, because that's one of the things that makes this particularly fun and interesting, is if you add a picture that people would enjoy looking at and commenting on. So for instance, I'm going to look at my son that this will be a picture of, and I have other pictures when he is younger, but I want a particular picture that I think was particularly really a fun picture that was taken when he was 3 months old. And this picture will very definitely get people's attention. because it's a beautiful picture of both him and me. And you want happy pictures if you're going to do this, so that people really, really like it. So let's see if we don't get some reaction out of that too. So let's go and look again, because it's in here now. So had a child, and here is the picture. And actually, I think I want to, you can also add a description in here. Lenny at 3 months old was a very sweet baby. So now, what did I do there? I tagged my son, who is actually this child. I also put a description on the picture, so that's different than actually the description inside the event. So both things are going to be working in my favor, and so we'll see what happens to that picture, because I can promise you it's going to get people's attention. And then you can see that that got some reaction too. So when you're creating a buzz, one of the very easiest ways to do it is with pictures, and make sure they're engaging pictures that people will actually react to. Pictures of events, pictures of your family, pictures of you doing something that looks fun, pictures of you out living your life. This picture here is actually me just celebrating and feeling good about my life, and that I feel good that I'm walking, and feeling good that I can do it again, because it was a struggle to get going and doing it. And those kind of things get people's attention. So here is that thing. It's out in the stream, and very shortly it will get people's attention. And I did one earlier from about my mother, and it doesn't matter. Not all of these things are going to get attention, but what I'm doing actually is just telling them a little bit about my life story, aren't I? I'm not telling them about my business. In fact, there's no mention of my business in here. And my mother is no longer here, so I can't tag her. And I could tag, actually, my sisters. And then I'm going to tag, oops, I'm going to tag my sisters in this. First I can tag myself. Then I'm going to tag Bobby, Joy, who's a sister, and then I'm going to tag Sandy. So you don't want to tag people that are not in the story, that would not get something out of this. But you do want to tag people that will be interested in knowing this story. So be careful with tagging. Tagging can be misused very, very often. But I want to celebrate. I want people to like these stories for the right reasons. And whenever you're sharing your story, make sure it's a good story that people really do want to know. Again, we can tag my sisters in this. Okay, this is my grandson, who is also the son of this picture of this son. So you have appropriate people you're tagging. It has to be people that actually would want to see this picture, not people that, I see a lot of people that go out and they tag a business-related picture to, like maybe it's a product of that they are offering people, and they're tagging everybody in their Facebook list. And that is totally inappropriate and very, very annoying. So don't do that. Don't do that. That is not going to help you. So that's based on, on a whole lot of time that I've spent doing that kind of thing. And, some of these things people won't pay attention to, some of them they will. But you do want to have people that are interested in the story, and that's the people that you're going to share it with. So that is one thing you can do. That creates buzz. Like, for instance, if I go back to, let's see, find that other picture. Oh, I can do it easier by going to, oh, that won't be the right choice. Let's go to the just got married. Okay, 28 people like this picture. That's the same one I was telling you about, but this is the actual feed place where it's at. And if you look at this, you get comments, you get likes, and that is what you're looking for. You want people to say, ooh, I like this person because look at all the cool things that this person shares. You can't just be about business because people get tired of seeing that. So even though this was not when I was online, this is not when I was in the internet, this was not when I was in business, this was when I was a young person just barely getting married and starting out my life. It's a picture of my life. It's a picture of things that are important to me. And a lot of people like it. So it gives you a lot of opportunity to be creating a little bit of buzz. And when you create buzz like that, people look at all your other stuff. What else happens? They come over and they say, oh, that's cool. So let's see what else Linda's up to. Then they go and look at your statuses. I always do anyway. I look at everybody's statuses to see what they're up to and what they're doing. And then the next thing I look at is, what are they about? What do they tell me they're doing as a business? Because this is where you could share it, right? For instance, I have an old fan page here, has a lot more likes than this new one, but you know what? I'm not promoting this because I promoted it in the wrong way when I did it, and I promoted it as just I got a bunch of likes that were people that were not part of the online business world. And so they would not get anything out of the things I was sharing. So that's why I'm doing this new fan page. And, I do recommend when you create your own fan page, I did this at like a profile, and I also did it as a public figure. And you can choose to do that if you like. And I made sure that they knew that the main thing I'm going to share here is that it is a place I share training, like the training I am doing right now. And then, okay, once you've done that, once you've built your wonderful fan page, good, it quit, whatever that was, then you want to go and find people. And I've shared this before, but I can't emphasize enough that you need to have the right kind of people with you that you really want to be connected with. You're connected with your personal friends already. You're connected with your personal family, but now you want to be connected with people that are going to be interested in what you have to share. So one of the things I like to do is you do people that like, and then you have opportunities to share it. It can be in one of your fan pages. It can be something that you're already have a like for. I like to go to this one a lot because he has, it doesn't show it for some reason, but he has nearly 400,000 likes. So I'm going to also do this. I'm going to go down here to friendship, and I'm going to say not my friends, because I'm not looking to be connecting to people that are already in my friends list, but I'm interested in connecting with other people that are liking Network Marketing Pro, because he has a big following. And I need to go down a little ways because I need to connect with people I have not yet communicated with. And then let's look at George. George lives in Utah. And also another thing that's important to you is that it's important to look at people that are in the countries that your company represents. Know ahead of time what those are. And then also it's important to talk to people that are not so far away from where you live so that your time zones won't get in the way too much, because you want to be able to have good communication, right? So George Ruiz, I think that's how you pronounce it, health and wealth, okay. And then you look at kind of what they're about, and I'm happy to say George is sharing a lot of good information here, and that's a good thing. And let's see how he looks down here below, because that's where the life events show up, and that's where his story will show up, and he is sharing a story. So that's very good. I like George. I would like to know him more. And then also look at his timeline. Find something in common you can talk to him about. Very important, because you want to have the opportunity to have a little discussion. You cannot talk to them immediately about your business, because most of the time that doesn't work. So he's sharing a really great picture of his family down here. So I can say something about that. And he lives in Utah, so there's two things we have in common. So I'm going to say, and then if you notice also, it does not go to the other box, and that's a good thing. Now sometimes they do, I don't know why, but George has some mutual friends. I don't know who they are, but it doesn't matter. He lives in Provo, Utah. I've been there, and I've got family there. So I'm going to say, hi, George. I see you and I are fans of Network Marketing Pro. I found Eric and his website in 2010, I think it was, and have followed him ever since. I see you live in Utah. I have a lot of family there. I would love to connect. Okay, absolutely nothing about business here. One thing you want to do is, number one, the very first sentence, I see you and I are fans of Network Marketing Pro. And the second sentence, and I'm talking about where I'm seeing him and why I'm connecting. And then I also am finding things that we can build a little rapport on. He lives in Utah and I have family there. So we've got some things we can start talking about, okay? So that is something we did. And as I was doing this, somebody liked that new event. I had a child. So you are going to cause buzz that way, and people are going to like it when they see that stuff. Okay, so let's look again at the others that are on this list here. Now, I kind of shy away from people that use their dogs as their fan page, And let me show you why. I don't know if this person's going to do this, but a lot of the time, that also means that they're not going to share who they are very much. AT&T for 30 years. Doesn't absolutely mean that. Oh, this is an animal lover person. That's not a problem, except for she shares very little information about herself. She's a baby boomer on the internet. But that doesn't tell me that she's in business, and I don't know anything about her. And so I'm going to shy away from people that don't use their own pictures. Okay, lives in Canton, Michigan. Brian. Okay, Brian has a nice picture, a really nice picture of his face here, and Brian is sharing something about his favorites team, and he's also sharing something about shopping. I don't know whether that's him in the picture or not. And then he's also sharing a picture about, this looks like a baby, it could be his or it could be a grandchild. And then he's also sharing positive things and lots of personal stuff. That's a very good sign, okay? I like it when people share more about themselves, and then he has kept his information open. You know, you do not have to have all, you know, your contact info should not just be links, though. I can promise you that is not helpful, but people will snoop. He's in Empower Network, no problem. And he doesn't know how to use his life events because he's just talked about the basics in there. But he also does have something here. Let's see what his link is. We're going to snoop. Oops, his link doesn't work. Okay, we can tell him about that. That's important for him to know. And again, I'm going to follow him and I'm going to send him a message. I'm not going to add as friend until after we have a conversation, and I have a specific reason behind doing it that way. Facebook makes a big stink about how many friends you add per day. And you can get into Facebook jail extremely easily by adding too many friends too fast. So I will add Brian when we have had a conversation and I know that he would accept it. So when I add a friend, they accept right away, and I don't ever have a backlog of people adding that I've added that didn't respond. And it's really important not to have a backlog of people that have not responded to your friend request. So if you start out with a conversation first and do a follow, they're going to get a notification of that, and then they're going to check me out anyway, and he's going to see the message I'm going to send him, and then he's going to check me out, whether he responds to the message or not. So I'm going to say, hi, Brian. I see you and I are fans of Eric Worre. Now, notice I'm not saying the exact same words to every person. And Network Marketing Pro. Don't you just love it? Let's see, he lives in, I love all the positive vibe you are sharing. And I spelled that wrong. It's vibe with a B. And would love to connect. So he'll see that I followed him. He'll see the message. And that will be the first step towards him. And notice this, see, I get lots and lots of responses from the stuff I've shared. And that's because I'm going to go back up, and I think I forgot to follow George, because that's usually my plan with people is I always, yeah, I did, okay. I always hit the follow button, and I don't do the add button until after I've had a conversation with that person, because the point is that you want to get them to actually talk to you. So I'm going to go look at Thomas J. Harrington, and he lives in New York, Rochester, New York. Okay, and I've been to New York, but I don't know where Rochester is. And then he is sharing a little bit, but not real often. Oh, he looks like he's a real estate person, which that's not really my niche, so I'm going to not talk to Thomas. My niche is network marketers, not interested in people that are real estate people. And there are people that will be in these fan pages that are not in the network marketing niche. Still working in nursing. And that was in February. She's had trouble with her personal profile, so I'll wait and see what happens with her a little bit later. And then we have Terry. See, you could do this all day long, because this will absolutely not get you in trouble with Facebook. And if you take the time with every one of these people and you come over to their profile and you browse their profile and you find something to talk about in common with them, you will not get in trouble with Facebook, because you have to do this faster. You cannot do this fast. You cannot do this fast. I cannot say that enough. You cannot do that fast. And what Facebook usually gets on your case for is when you are adding friends or making comments or sending messages too fast. So when you're doing it slow, Facebook has no problem with that. And you really don't have to do a huge amount of people this way either, because you're being very focused on who it is you're interested in connecting with. And I'm going to say that again. You are being very focused on who it is that you want to be connected with. So this person did use their life events once or twice, and he also told a little bit of a story. Kind of not really very much of a story. And what else does Terry share about himself? He's got a nice picture. He just posted 4 hours ago. He's a presidential director, which means I don't know exactly what, but he's ranking in his company. That doesn't mean we can't be connected, though. Who knows? So I'm going to follow Terry, and I'm going to send him a message. Okay, let's wait just a second. I'm going to say something about this post he just put up. Nothing starts my day off quite like when I give inspirational messages to my friends. May your day go fast, your socks match, and your underwear not ride up your ass. Oh, well, I'm not so sure that's so positive, but hey, Terry. And vary what you say. Make sure that it's not the same thing. I know a lot of people these days say copy paste, but when you're sending a message to somebody, they can tell when it's not you. They can tell when it's not when it's copy paste. I see you are like me and love network marketing pro. Okay, see, I said a different sentence for every person. I love to connect with like-minded people like you. I also like your sense of humor, because that thing he just posted, let's connect. Okay, so see, I'm sending a different message to each person, and I'm following each person, and I think I have time for a couple more, and then the day is over for the training. Now, I don't remember if I've talked to Eloise, and I have talked to Herbert, and I don't know if I've talked to Denise. I'll cut it out. Okay, we're looking at Denise. Denise looks at it, works, and it works, and you'll notice that she doesn't know how to use her space here to create a fan page, because it's going into a generic fan page that this is something that Facebook will create if you use words that do not connect to an actual fan page. And it works as a fan page, but not hers. And self-employed again doesn't go anywhere either. And Fun Rap Girl finally is actually her personal fan page. So she did do that part. That's good. But she should have this on the top instead. But anyway, I could make that suggestion. It might be of help to her. Yeah, I think I will. Okay, so I'm going to, I've already followed her. Now in this one, I'm giving her a little advice, and it's a helpful advice because she wants people to go to her fan page, so I'm going to send that to her. See what she says to that. Okay. And then we have about a little less than 10 minutes till the end of this, and I'm going to, this is also kind of my work time too, because as I'm showing you this, I'm actually taking my own personal action, aren't I? Because this person can become, he's Chief Fun Officer, I know where he got that. There's a trainer that teaches to do that. And he posted on the 19th, the last time. And another thing that you can always do that kind of lets them know that you're around is to like something that they have posted. Be honest about it. It has to be something you really do like. This is actually his fan page, so he's doing something right there. And because you do want this link to actually be a fan page, and both of these are fan pages, so that's a good thing. He's doing that right. And then you want to make sure you're giving as complete information as possible in here, because people are curious. They want to know where you live. I'm seeing a trend, and it's not a good one, where people are hiding this information, hiding this right here, and it's not a good idea. So let me go back real quick to my own personal profile and show you about that. When you go to your own personal About Me, you're going to see that you can edit this. And a lot of people are hiding this, and I don't even know why. And the way they do that is they say only me right here. They lock it. And so when you lock it, it shows ask Linda Cromar for her city, ask Linda Cromar for her work, ask Linda Cromar for her phone number, ask Linda Cromar for her website, ask Linda Cromar, you know, etc., etc. And I absolutely suggest you do not do that, because if you do not give people the opportunity to find out about you, to snoop around a little bit, to learn more about you, then you are missing a big boat here. This needs to be open, and you need to share who you are with other people. You need to have a phone number on here. Now, you know, I get phone calls on my cell, and I get phone calls on this line here. But that doesn't matter. What matters is you're letting your prospect know that you are willing to talk to them. If you don't want to put a phone number on here, another choice is a Google phone number. Personally, I don't like those, and that's not my top choice. Another thing you might want to do is make sure they have a place where they can send you messages. I don't like them to talk to me on Skype that way, but a lot of them do. They're going to add me in Skype, and you're going to also want to make sure that they can find you in other places like Twitter and your websites. Like, for instance, these are blogs, and this is actually my company that I'm part of, and that's okay. But you do want them to find you. You do want them to know who you are, and you do want them to know what about you. And you do want them to know a lot about you before they even contact you. The more you can share about who you are, the more they're going to like you. The more you hide, like if you hid all this stuff, and I'm not going to point somebody out that does it, but I have seen it a lot. The more you hide what you are doing and who you are and the kinds of stuff you're about, the more uncomfortable people are around you, because they don't know why you're hiding it. They don't know why you're afraid for them to click on your, you know, for instance, the city. For heaven's sakes, why would that be a problem? You know, because the city isn't going to go to my address. It's going to go, let me show you where it goes. It goes into a page that Aurora has created, where people who are in Aurora are going to be there as well, because they've chosen to let people know that they're in Aurora. And it's kind of cool, though, actually. You could find out other people that are involved. So why would you hide that? Why would you hide that information? I can't imagine why you would. And then why would you hide where you came from? For instance, again, what is it going to come up with? It's going to come up with an actual page that this city created that talks about that place. And why would I hide that information? I don't know. I have no clue why I would hide that information. And then why would you hide your fan page? Why would you hide your work? Now, if you are working at a full-time job, this is, you know, although this is set up to be for your work and information here, I don't suggest you put up a person's work. You know, if you work for a company, don't put that in there. Not because it's something you're going to hide, but you're asking your company to respond to your personal profile And if you don't really want them to know you're working in a business, that's not a real good idea, is it? If you are looking to apply for a job, yeah, then you can do it. But my work and education is not, I worked at a lot of places. I have a great big work history, but I see no purpose in putting it here because this is not my resume. This is a place where I am showing who I am and how they can contact me. That's what this is really all about. So make your workplace become your fan page. Now we're coming full circle, and we talked at the beginning about the fan page. If you're extremely brand new in Facebook and you don't know how to do a bunch of stuff yet, then the fan page is not very important to you. But if you have built a little bit of a brand, like I have, and you want people to know what you're about, the fan page is a great place to do that. So in the About Me section on the fan page, I'm going to direct them to who I am, where they can find out more about me, where my training is, other accounts I have. Again, this is not really training. I mean, there's not a lot of capture pages in here. There's more about, I can put capture pages in here, and I should put capture pages, but for instance, this page here is actually a blog because I really want them to find out about me as a trainer more than I want them to find out about me as somebody that has to continue to put them in my capture page. And for instance, this video is an old video that I'm putting up my old videos, and I'm doing that on purpose because I want them to learn more about me, and I want them to see my journey, and I want them to get very acquainted with me. I want them to feel like they could throw their shoes in a corner and sit down in a chair next to me and have a honest and comfortable conversation with me. And that's what the fan page is going to be all about for people, is learning more about me and how they can do it. And in the personal profile, I'm really about sharing who I am, my personal journey, yes, a little bit about business, but I'm going to give them a lot of positive stuff, and I am going to direct them into my fan page with my training, free training that I'm sharing today. So, and then of course they can also see my friends, and they can see where I've been in other places. Like I do a lot of stuff on Pinterest and Instagram, and I like a lot of pages, and I'm in groups, and I have a SoundCloud, which I need to actually use more, and those kind of things. And you need to be well-rounded. So to answer the question that somebody asked me a few days ago, why would you want to actually get people to stop coming to your personal profile and you want them to go to your fan page? Well, the fan page is not limited to 5,000 people. But here's another cool thing that probably a lot of people don't know, and that is that we have the ability to have people follow us as well as be connected to us by friends. And the follows are not limited. So I may be limited by 5,000 friends, but I'm not limited by how many can follow me. And so really, you're not limited in your friends and followers in Facebook at all. And you might notice my number isn't at 5,000 yet, and the reason why that is because I fluctuate a lot, and when people are, for whatever reason, being negative and I don't like what they post, they probably are not going to stay in my friends list. And so that's what I have to share with you today. And I want you to understand that I'm going to come back here every single Friday. If there's something that comes up and I cannot do it the way I usually plan to, I will probably post a recorded training in there. So every single Friday you can count on it that there will be new content in there and new ways that I can share with you how to build your business effectively and profitably from Facebook and other social media. So this is Linda. I'm going to stop this broadcast, and I wish the best to you, and happy Friday Facebook Mastermind recruiting to you. Bye for now.